People say love is blind, but nobody really knows what they're getting themselves into until they get out of those pods. I don't know about you, but I would never be able to do this type of show or any show. But let's get into the hot mess that has been unfolding on social media with the contestants of Love is Blind this year. And these lovers are juicy. I think the only sane ones is Vic and Christine. Well, let's get into it. Welcome back to my channel, you guys. My name is Sharon. If you guys are new here, please subscribe to my channel. Please like this video. If you like these type of videos, join the family. Now, let's get into the nitty gritty. If you guys have not watched Love is Blind, skip over. So, Christine and Vic, not much to say. I love them and I wish I saw more of them on my screen just because they're so genuine. They were so genuine and they were so in love and you could see it. Like, you guys really can. Sometimes I thought it was acting. I thought it was really too good to be true at first. But I don't know. They seem... But let's get into our first couple. So this video that I saw is about Devontae and Brittany, and I have a lot to say about these two couples. Well, this couple, not two couples. This couple in particular, because we didn't see Brittany meet Devontae's family, which, weird. That's a red flag. People are talking about how she bought her dress before she got married. I know, I was talking about it with my friends, and some people are saying, that's really weird. She shouldn't have done that, like... It's off. That's like a bizarre thing. But there are women out there that believe in manifestation and they believe by buying things in advance that they have, it's like they're manifesting the future. Do I see anything wrong with it? No. It's like making a vision board in a way. Is it extreme? Yeah. Would I buy my dress in advance? No. But to each their own, and people have their own way of speaking their, what's the word I'm looking for? They have their own way of speaking their truth into fruition. Or their dreams into fruition. I think it should be the word. So here's this video that there's so many videos, but here's this video of the tea with Gervonta and Brittany, and it gets you. And warning, this is a reunion spoiler. So if you guys, still haven't seen it, we're not seeing it. It is a reunion spoiler. So just fast forward if you don't want to hear it. But it's all over the internet. So like, who cares?
Spoiler alert! If you don't want any spoilers about Love is Blind season 10, get the F on, because I got tea. Devontae announces at the Love is Blind season 10 reunion that he's got a baby on the way and is engaged. What? We just dropped this revelation on the Reality Receipts podcast. If you have not listened to our latest interview where we interview his ex-girlfriend who he just broke up with in December of 2025, go listen to it. Now, is it possible that he met a woman and got engaged and pregnant within a month and a half? Sure. Is it likely? Nah. So as salacious as this really has nothing to do with Brittany. Remember, last reunion, Sparkle Megan had a whole baby here. It wasn't even on the way. It was here. Devontae and Brittany don't make it down the aisle, but they do make it very, very close to weddings. Brittany even makes it to the bachelorette parties. So they broke up around April of 2025. What makes this so shocking is that he was in another relationship with Taylor, who we spoke to on the Reality Receipts podcast, and they just broke up in December of 2025. That is why this is shocking, because how are we in February 2026 and you're engaged and have a baby on the way with somebody else who's not Taylor? That's what makes this whole thing shocking. Now, y'all have to remember, Devontae was engaged in 2023. He had a fiance by the name of Mandy, who he allegedly cheated on her too. Then he got engaged to Brittany in February of 2025, and now he's engaged again? He moves quick. He moves quick. Engaged with a baby on the way. Filming just wrapped in April, and then he got into a new relationship in July, and they just broke up in December. How you engaged and got a baby on the way already? My guess is that he was cheating on his girlfriend Taylor at the time. Now, we did talk to her on the pod, and she did say he kept sneaking off. He was always unavailable. He always gave her excuses. Somebody in his family always died. It's a really good chat. Listen to. He was telling us like he kept disappearing and she never knew where he was. And then we found out this information and all the dots started to click. Now, again, it's possible that in a month and a half, he met someone and knocked him up. But depending on how far along she is, I don't think that that's true, ma'am. And considering his track record with Mandy and now Taylor, and Taylor also found out about another girl that he was dating while she was seeing him, I'm gonna guess that fiance, baby mama to be, has no idea about this. Now, I don't know who baby mama is. All I know is that at the reunion, he is going to announce that he has a baby on the way and is engaged. And he had a girlfriend in December who is not the baby mama and or fiance. If I had to take my best guess, I would guess that the woman who is having his child had no idea that he was in a relationship in December, but maybe she does. Highly unlikely, but you got some.
I'm gonna stop there. I really don't care for the rest. This just says it all. Gervonta really does not know what he wants in life within a woman. I think he is so confused within himself. It's actually like he's a definition of a flip-flop. Like he doesn't know. Like, and the rings that he keeps on buying for, like, I don't know if the women just keep giving back the rings and he just keeps reusing them, or if he just keep buying the same rings over and over again. Like, I'm not entirely sure. Because I truly think that it's just honestly not a joke. If you keep having to buy the rings over and over again, those aren't real diamond rings. I don't care how much money you make. I don't care whatever. I know that woman's gonna test that ring one day if she's trying to pawn that ring, and it's gonna be like fake, and she will not be pleased. So that's one thing for sure. And women these days, they want, the real stuff. So let's talk about Brittany and Devonta. These two lovely creatures. I wrote notes, okay? I wrote a lot of notes, like you guys. I mean, a lot. And Devonte, the second he saw her, we all knew he wasn't interested. Man fully said on screen, I don't date usually women of color. And you are of color, like everyone's saying it on the internet. Yeah, that was very annoying. Like, you could see the disappointment on his face. This man did not want to be engaged with her. I think he just stayed for the money if they were getting paid for it. The views, the clout, the followers, whatever it is. That's really what it was. It wasn't defined love, in my humble opinion, because the second he saw her, he's like, yeah, no, she's not my type. Okay? Him and Alex should have done a swap because he likes what Alex had and Alex liked what he had, clearly. He does have a type. When he talks, it's like there's nothing there. Like, I remember at one point when I saw him laughing, I was like, oh, he smiles. He can laugh. Oh my goodness. I was really shocked. It looked like she was like talking to a wall 24/7. And I know he said that his grandfather passed away and it was really hard for him. And honestly and truly, in my humble opinion, that man should have just left. But again, this is why I say he stayed. And I truly think he stayed not for the right reasons, but all for the wrong reasons, because that girl wasn't his type. So why stay? What was the point? The second he saw her, he should have just been like, yeah, no. But again, you're on camera, so you never know. Maybe you don't want to look too much of an ass. But he did anyways. Another thing is that they kept talking about children, them too. Like, the definition of delusion, like, delusional was Britney. 2 billion%. She is Delulu, and she was Delulu the entire time. And I think she just truly did not want to accept the fact that he just wasn't her person, because she was so adamant for love. Even, like, when you saw at the end, when she was, like, talking about still being together, and, like, this man was ready to leave. This man was never going to talk to her again. We saw, like, even, he was saying, I thought it was a red flag when she bought a dress. I mean, that said it all. Like, never seeing you again, okay? She had the wrong expectations and the wrong ideas. He didn't know how to also talk her love languages. Like, what she needed from a man, he didn't know how to give. So that on its own, for her, she should have just been like, fuck it. That's it. I have so much written here. Yeah. And another thing, one of her love languages was physical touch. That man did not want to touch her ever. Like, the way Vic was touching Christine and the way he would look at her and touch her, like, I never see him touch her. And the act, oh my goodness, the way he was with her family was another whole thing. And a thing that I found a really big red flag is that we didn't see his family on screen. And to me, that's weird, okay? That is very weird, because how did she not clock that? How is she so delusional? She was like, why am I not meeting your family? The fact she accepted that, I knew she was like in La La Land. Like, there was no snapping her back, okay? Honeymoon obviously was disastrous. We all seen that. That was just, anyways. He used the loss of his, like I said, he used the loss of his grandfather way too much. And instead of communicating with her about how he was feeling, he was just like stone cold. Like, it really looked like he had no emotions. So another thing was when she said she fell in love with Devonte after begging him constantly for affection, for physical touch, for attention, for whatever she needed. And she said she fell in love with him? No. You fell in love with the idea that he gave you in the pods. He bamboozled you, and you're confused. You're just like, I don't get it. I don't know how. How did I fall for this? Well, that's really what it was. Because there's no way you're gonna tell me you fell in love with him. Another thing was really funny, and I have talked about this, is a prenup. She got so uncomfortable when he mentioned the prenup. And here's the reality. A prenup is not a bad thing at all. It isn't. And I do wonder how far he would have gone if she said yes to that prenup. Because this man is devious. He is a cheater. He's either a cheater or a serial dater or something. Because him too, I think in some ways he is delusional. I feel like he knows what he's doing at the same time. I don't think he's that stupid. But at the same time, he knew how to play her and play with her emotions very well. And that's scary. For me, very scary. And then you're also telling her this on your last date that you wanted this prenup and whatever, and you had all this time to talk about it. You had time to talk about it in the pods. You had time to talk about it after the pods. You waited weeks until before the wedding. Right there, she should have known he didn't want to get married. So that's what I think about Devontae and Brittany. I think she's very delusional. I hope she does find her person. But at the same time, I'm like, this to be expected. It's to be expected. Sorry. Now, this is gonna be a long video, you guys. I'm so sorry. We need to talk about, I don't know which one I want to pick with these two. Let's talk about Connor and Brie and Chris and Jessica. Because it's like a mix of the both, okay? So Chris and Jessica, it's a really 2-second thing. He's a fool. He lied a lot to Jessica, and she says it, I think, in this video. Let's play. It's going to be interesting. She said it on a podcast. Oof, which one is it?
Was there any other red flags leading up to that internally? Like, what were you feeling?
Probably like what people feel when they were like on the show punked. Like, this isn't real. There's no way that this is like a human being saying these things to another human being.
In my opinion, he saw your success, your house, and he just didn't feel, men who have not worked on themselves or have chosen any form of growth, all they do is they get emotionally stunted at the age that they haven't grown past. And that boy has not grown into a man who is secure in himself, but it must have hurt so badly at the same time.
Of course it hurt my feelings. Like, I'm human. It was very much like a gut punch, but also I was like, well, you don't deserve to be in my airspace.
And then she says this.
I can just see that all over you, that you have chosen you and that you're in that place now where you were like, this motherfucker.
Exactly.
Has he apologized?
He did call me the morning after the mixer in like a spiral because he like knew what he did. And I answered the phone and said,
like, I don't care what she said afterwards, like his apology and all that stuff. She did come on the podcast also, and she said, in that podcast that there was a lot of lies that he did also about his political views, things that he wanted. For me, what really was like what the F, I think for everyone, they're talking about the Pilates and how he was criticizing her body. It's for me when he said to Brie, yeah, people call me the Andrew Tate. Why do you think that's a compliment? First of all, okay? Why would you ever consider this to be a compliment? He has an ego problem. He needs therapy, and I hope he is getting that. And we are going to see a lot unfold during the reunion, and I cannot wait. And that reaction video to it will be coming too. But let's just be honest. This man that night at the mixer was absolutely disgusting. And I think he's part of the reason why Brie and Connor did not get married. However, I'm not going to put all the blame on Connor in one situation, and that comes from the relationship with Brie and Connor. However, when it comes to Jessica, sir, I date girls who do Pilates and they work out, but then you're running to Brie, who is similar body types in ways with Jessica. So you either are insecure with a woman who has quote unquote power or has a high paying job mainly, or you're just self-centered, materialistic, shallow as hell of a human being. Like, that's just how I see it. Because Jessica's beautiful. She's a beautiful woman. And everyone has their different definition of beauty in their own eyes for for each other and what they want. No problem. But even, for example, Alex, when he said, Ashley's not his type. That girl's like a Barbie. She's not my type. How are you, whatever. You could have, said probably in the pause, yeah, my type is usually, this type of woman and this look and that look and whatever. I don't know what the pods are like. I don't know if I don't remember them talking about the physical appearances. I don't know if they're really allowed to, but it's a good thing to know though. If I went into those pods, which I would never do, and a guy asked me what's my type, I would dead ass be like X, Y, and Z. The same way I would go to the guy and be like, what's your type? So I know, I'm like, oh, well, okay. excuse myself. I'm not gonna set myself up in a way where like I fail, you know? Like I'm not gonna, I want my person. I don't want, you know, a scammer, Alex. Anyways, so back to Bree, Connor, Chris, and Jessica. Jessica, very mature. I'm not surprised that Connor lied. Not Connor, sorry. I'm not surprised that Chris lied. Excuse my English. But at the same time, like, all these men have lied in these pods. Like, I really truly wonder if all of them waited to the end to get their, like, to get that time, to get that TV appearance. I don't know. So, what I can't stand about Chris, though, at that night of the mixer, because I know I'm going everywhere. I'm, like, really, I'm having, like, snapbacks in my head. The night of the mixer, he planted that seed into Bree's mind. And Bree was trying to, like, you know, get her way in Cabo, when they arrived with Connor, and she was making Connor feel very insecure. And there's things that Bree said at that mixer that was also a red flag for me, which was when Bree went and she said to him, why didn't you tell me all this in Cabo when we were having these conversations and X, Y, and Z? I'm like in my head, and what would that have done, man? What would you do? Because then she proceeds to saying, I wouldn't want to do this experience to anybody but Connor, right? Yeah, something like that. And I said, you're not going to backpedal now. You're backpedaling because this man made you feel like a piece of meat. That's why. He was wasted. Chris was beyond wasted. I hope he's sober now. Like, this man should not be drinking ever again. But you're not going to tell me. You're not going to say, well, why didn't you tell me this at the mixer, in Cabo, in Mexico? I mean, ma'am, what would that have done? If he didn't say those things afterwards, when you asked that question, he answered everything right afterwards. He probably said, you know, I remember he saying, I don't know, I wasn't sure, I wanted to try it out, but now I regret my decision. You know, and if he said, I truly feel like you and I have something good and could go really far, and not that stupid comment of friends with benefits. We're not going to say what he actually said, but he basically said friends with benefits. I mean, yeah, Connor deserved so much better in that scene. And the fact Bree just stood there, didn't defend Jessica, didn't defend Connor, but instead opened that gateway for him to put things in her mind. I am so disappointed in Bree. Like, I'm not surprised because she was questioning her connection with Connor the second she came out. We all saw it, because why else would you want to have that one-on-one conversation with Chris and whatever? In the end, I'm just like, not that this is disturbing, but this is like highly disappointing. You opened those doors in Mexico. You never shut them. You thought you shut them, but you didn't. All of a sudden, this man had a revelation that he made a mistake and he made regret. And then when he didn't answer the questions, or he was just rambling on and saying all the wrong things afterwards, you're like, oh no, I wouldn't do this with anybody else but Connor. I saw right through it. And the fact that no one's actually talking about that is crazy to me, because I don't believe her for 1 second. I don't. Because now we're going to get into Connor and Bree. Connor is too good for Bree. I don't care. Apparently, Connor and Bree are still together. But this is what Bree says when it came with the Chris situation.
Blind storyline just got a lot messier because Brianna is now revealing what viewers never saw on the show, and it involves Chris. She recently appeared on a podcast and exposed a ton of new information. You guys need to see what she said. Brianna is engaged to Connor on Love is Blind. Chris, meanwhile, had just broken off his engagement with Jessica after telling her that he wasn't physically attracted to her.
A different type of like body?
Does fucking like Pilates every day, or like someone who's like working out every day.
Not long after that breakup, the cast had a group mixer. That's when Chris told Brianna that she should have been his choice, said she was his number 2 in the pods, and compared himself to her fiancé, Connor, all while knowing she was engaged. But according to Brianna, that wasn't even the full story. She just went on a podcast and said Chris had already crossed boundaries before that night.
He messaged me on Instagram, and this man was in the pods telling me he doesn't even have an Instagram. And then as he goes on to say some things, they were slightly inappropriate. frustrated in some ways. And
she explained that she thought their conversations were friendly, so when he suddenly started flirting, it caught her completely off guard. She also said she wanted to be clear. She was fully committed to Connor at that time. Brianna said she spoke out because she didn't want viewers to think she entertained it or disrespected her own relationship. Listen to how she explains it herself.
then we're like friends in Cabo. We're talking about like double dates. And then it goes full like switch up. And he's like, I wish it would have been you at the end. I'm like, wait, what? I'm just having a conversation with him as a friend and hearing him out and what he's going through. I think I show up for him in a friendly way. And I don't want it to be misconstrued that I was like entertaining him whatsoever from a romantic POV.
Okay, let's just be honest. Ma'am, in Cabo, you did not have it in no friendly way. You had it in a, I want to see where his head's at because he is attractive. That's really what it was. You cannot convince me anyways. Any way, shape, or form, I'm sorry, you cannot. Even if I'm not there, the way your facial, the way you were, I'm adamant to having those conversations with him in Cabo. You saw Connor's face. He was just like, but why? Like, for what? Then there was she didn't want to perceive, like, the way it was shown, it was like not the full story. So maybe after that conversation that we saw, you literally then was like, okay, this is not going anywhere, whatever, let's just be friends. But don't act like in the beginning you didn't have that sense of connection, I guess you want to say, because Connor is a sweetheart. And then in that conversation at the mixer, just a little FYI, that conversation at the mixer, you did not show any way, shape, or form that you weren't interested or that you were surprised with what he was saying. Why would you entertain that conversation if that man was not respecting your relationship in the beginning? You literally, that entire conversation, you allowed it. You allowed him to disrespect Connor and Jessica. And on top of it, you allowed him to plant that seed in your head once again. He made you, because when you and Connor had that conversation, because you guys didn't walk the altar, in that kitchen, you were repeating the words that he said to you. That's the thing. There's that red flag. If it wasn't for that, I don't think we would be really having these conversations right now. I think you would probably have walked down the aisle. So when were you having these doubts? Because it looks kind of too much of a coincidence. You mentioned alpha male and males that are more alpha than you, and now Connor said the same thing to you at the mixer. You're talking about you're not sure what you want and this and that, and he literally just he gave you that bit of doubt and it worked. You should be like, Chris, not Connor. Chris, I'm sorry, but we're not having this conversation. Like, I'm with Connor. This is my decision. I don't care what you think. I don't care what you feel. I am very satisfied and happy with my decision. Dead it. Right there, and then that's it. You can't say, how are you friends with a man that's disrespecting your quote-unquote fiance? Where's the respect? Where is that respect for your fiance? This woman, she really irked me. When Connor went and spoke to Emma in Cabo afterwards, I mean, he did it to have the confidence, and I'm glad he did it, but I feel like it was just like a petty moment, you know, for like a lick back type of thing. I don't really think it was like the way that she was talking. I love the way, also one thing I loved about Brie and Connor's relationship was how similar she is to his family though. That I need to give. Like, I could see them blending well into her family. Into his family, I mean. I don't know about her family just because Connor did say he sees resemblance to her father, which is not a bad thing neither. So definitely that's a bonus. The train date was absolutely adorable. I loved it. I really hope they are still dating after this. Just because they are a cute couple. You know, they are a cute couple and I really like them together. I feel like they could actually really work if she just takes whatever Chris said and take it out of her head. I just don't appreciate the fact of everything else she did, to be honest with you. That's why I went hard on her. Because she really just, it wasn't right. The internet already is going on him. And like, I've seen recordings of Chris and how he talks to his ex-girlfriend. And I was just like, sir. I think I have a video of it too.
It gets worse. Here we go.
Guarantee you probably had sex with like six other dudes, but after me. Listen, Marta, listen to me. Listen to me. I do not give a fuck.
Then why are you calling me? Why are we having this conversation?
Because I want to make it clear to you because of the last text messages I've received from you. I want to make it clear to you and put it in your brain so you understand going forward in my life of in your life of what's going to be like a thing. because like obviously
What?
like we've had like a thing, and like look, you can have sex with 10 fucking 15 dudes. I don't give a
Okay, I'm not playing all this because it's really like not that necessary. But this man and his desires for sexual activity is beyond disturbing and annoying. And it's just, dude, like at this point, like we know you pay for pleasure. Just ew, like.
All right, guys, let me introduce you to my ex-boyfriend, Chris. He claims he's 5'8", but I'm not here to argue with delusions. Are you in the market for a short white guy who's a walking red flag and thinks he's God's gift because he owns 2 pairs of designer sneakers? Then step right up, because Chris is your man. Features include horrendous communication skills, will ghost you mid-sentence and reappear like nothing happened. Claims he's so financially stable while being $60,000 deep in credit card debt. Sued by 2 different credit card companies. Bathroom untouched by cleaning products for 6+ months. Biohazard cheek. Constantly talks about how successful he is while living in pure chaos. Gives bare minimum energy wrapped in overconfidence. Perfect for anyone seeking emotional whiplash, financial delusion, and a mild case of mold exposure. P.S. Don't go on a trip with him, because he will not pay for his half. We'll split it as a concept, not a promise. Serious inquiries only, ladies. He'll love bomb you and then vanish faster than your X list.
So Jessica basically dodged a bullet and found now a new couple, a new person from the pods. He's a pod guy. Found a whole new person, and we'll find out more about that on the reunion. But thank freaking God. Thank goodness gracious. He is one of those guys that just, he's like an Alex, but has a job, basically. He's an Alex with a job. Anyways, let's get to Mike and Emma. I don't have really much to say about them. Emma's a cutie. Mike is a sweetheart. Do I see them working out? No. Do I think they're dating? I heard rumors that he has a new relationship with somebody. But it's interesting because on his profile, it said New Jersey, Ohio, and on Instagram. And then Emma posted that she needed ideas for her birthday in New York. I don't know if she does live in New York. I'm not entirely sure. I don't remember her saying that. So maybe she does. I don't know. But sad that they didn't work out, but they're really cute. I loved Emma's family. I loved his family, to be honest, too. I saw the concern within his family, like his mother's reaction. Like she was concerned for her son and like whether or not he's making the right decision. And I think him saying no was the best decision. Not just for him, but for all parties, just because, again, kids are important to him. He wants to have kids. And I don't know if there's any other situations in their relationship. They keep mentioning the baby situation. So you guys, if a girl says she doesn't want to have kids, or if a guy says he doesn't want to have kids, for the ladies out there, and you do, just don't waste your time. That's it. Who's surprised Jordan and Amber got married? Me. I did. I am. Because why did you guys get married? Why? You guys did not. What annoyed me was that they seemed too perfect. And that I truly believe is because Jordan was not fully communicating and neither was Amber. I feel like there's a lot that we did not see neither. And the one thing that I saw, like we've been hearing very much about Amber and Jordan's relationship and why they ended. Even though they did get married, I think they say they only lasted 3 months. Apparently, Amber has an alcohol problem, allegedly. I mean, not surprised every time I seen her, on the show. I usually saw her drinking. I don't have much to say about them. I didn't really like them together. I didn't really enjoy them, and to be honest, I was skipping. They were annoying. They were boring. The only interesting part was that mixer, and that was just because of a comment that he said. But either way, like, I'm not going to waste my time much on them. Let's talk about Mr. Alex and Mrs. Ashley. So there's plenty of rumors behind these two people. One being Alex is not really Alex. His name is Alec. Man didn't even have a soccer career coming for him. This man was a walking red flag. This man is a nomad. He does not know how to be domestic. He doesn't know how to stay in one place for, a period of time. He has to move around. People were saying it was giving serial killer vibes, and I just couldn't agree more. I would say it was giving some sort of, I have another family in a different state. That's what it was giving to. I didn't like him from the beginning. He was very off. When he was flirting with Brittany in Cabo, and he's like, I didn't consider it flirting. What? Like, did we all see the same video? Because I'm confused. Yeah, I'm confused because that makes no sense to me. Okay, we all saw the video. So you were flirting. Okay, you were flirting. You fully said on camera that she is your type, Brittany. So that's it. That's all. Okay, there's not more to it. This girl looked so checked out when he met her parents, her family, I guess, her brother too. Her father drilled him, like drilled him. He's a divorce lawyer. He could read through BS. And he read through this man. He readed him so well. He is just a no. A no. But here's the thing. Rumor has it, she's been cheating on him the entire time. And let's just be honest. Who's surprised that she cheated? If this is true. Is it right? No. Is it surprising? No. The girl was crying for pleasure. And the man just didn't want to give it because he wasn't attracted to her. Again, she's like Malibu Barbie. I don't understand. But here's a video of Alex Farrell and his identity crisis.
You guys know Alex Henderson? Oh wait, I mean Alec Farrell. This man changed his name. The professional soccer player who does financial services, who's also a day trader and a fisherman and a casino worker. That guy? Well, hold up, because not only was he was a goalie, okay? But he was drafted on January 13th, 2017 and released on March 1st, 2017. Is that 2 months? That's not even 2 months. Huh? Don't let the beautiful face fool you. I mean, this man's good looking, but that's all he has. That is all he has because he is almost unbearable in the show. So you gotta run. I hope you run. Oh, and your dad was right. But I think the thing that I'm the most concerned about is how he always wants to move states. I'm like, is he wanted in Ohio? And why is he saying that? Okay, no hate to Florida at all. I love Florida. I love the weather. But he's saying, we need to go to Florida. I got a coaching job there and it's great for kids and the education system. Again, I'm not knocking Florida at all, but the education system in Florida is probably better in Ohio, to be honest. Why does this man want to leave so bad? He's like, we got to get out of Ohio. I had to get out of Arizona. I had to get out of here, X, Y, and Z. And he keeps calling himself a nomad. And I also don't think his mom is his mom because they don't even, I feel like she's an actor that he hired. Again, he did play soccer in college. He was drafted, but only for 2 months, less than 2 months. Good looking guy though. I will give the producers that. Good looking guy to cast.
That man looked better looking in those pods than he did on his damn wedding day. But let's not get into that. First of all, I truly think this man either has another family in all these states or in Ohio. His eager to leaving Ohio is questionable because what is wrong with you? What are you trying to run away from? He's off. There's something about him that gives me 20 red flags. He's not father material. It's concerning. And I see people on the internet freaking out about how Ashley has handled things and how she didn't have to do that whole thing at the altar and that she wanted a deep tea, I think her name was? Deep tea moment, if I think that was her name, from the previous season. And I'm going to be honest with you, good for Ashley. Because yeah, he said that the night before that they were no longer, he didn't see this happening. But what, you think you're going to go to the altar and say no to me? Are you crazy? After you made me feel crazy? Do we forget what he did at the mixer? Priyanka was calling him out on the lies and telling him like, well, you actually said this, you didn't say that. And his story kept changing over and over and over again. And what, you want her to be okay with it? You wanted her to take it and be like, you could say no to me at the altar. Let's waste our time. And you think you're going to waste this woman's time getting ready, doing her hair and everything for you to say no? No, good for Ashley. Good for her for stopping. Like, I'm going to stop you there because I know what you're going to say. Good for her. Because he knew he didn't want her the second he saw her. He said, I'm not physically attracted to her. When she was asking him to please her, he couldn't do it. So why continue filming? Because you wanted the money. You wanted to get to the end for the money. That's all he does. Anything he does is for money. Because clearly he needs it. He probably owes money to loan sharks for all we know. It made no sense to me whatsoever. So I I don't feel bad for him. And anybody that does, you need help. This man's weird. He's really weird. I don't care how attractive he is. If you showed up on my wedding day looking like a bum like you did, at least play your part. I don't like that man. There was so much more that happened. Like Alex and Ashley's section is just way too damn long. Alex would have to answer Ashley's questions. He just couldn't answer it. He was running in circles over and over again. It was like the story was changing, but then it was fixing itself, but it was changing again. Like adaptation was a real struggle for him on that end. Her father saw right through it. He did. And again, I'm waiting to find out whether or not she is in a relationship for the reunion. And if so, when did she start dating the guy? If she did cheat on him, I mean, again, it's not right. But do I blame her? No, because when a guy goes and cheats because he's not getting pleasure from his girl and all that stuff, that's a sin. We're going to hold both people accountable, right? And then everyone will give an excuse for a guy. Well, if you're not going to pleasure him, then what's the point? Well, if you're not going to pleasure your woman, then what's the point? I think Ashley saw the red flags, honestly and truly, way before. I think she had a gut feeling and she wasn't fully listening to her gut. The day when she had a dinner with her parents, I think that's when she noticed it and that's when she saw it, but didn't say anything. Truly and honestly, that's my honest opinion. Them fighting over water bottles was the biggest joke of life. It was just really silly and stupid. There's worse things in this world, just an FYI. Even arguing about pleasure was just like a red flag. I'm like, I think that Alex didn't want to be the evil person in the story. I think Alex was trying to play his role smart and be like, if anybody has to end it, it's gonna be her, to give her that villain moment on TV. And you know what? I wish she did, because we were all seeing it. There's just something weird about him. Like, I get it, you don't want to live in Ohio. Cool. Maybe you don't like the state. I don't know, but the way he was talking, like adamant, and his stories about how he's traveled everywhere. Like now I found out he was in Canada working in BMO. Like when? Like so confusing. Okay? Like I said, I believe he has a secret family or he owes money to loan sharks, to be honest with you. I don't see Alex ever being a domestic man. I believe he needs someone that will travel the world with him. I don't see him grounding himself and building roots, to be honest with you. I really don't. I won't be surprised if we hear he's in a biker gang. Just saying, it's in the family. His mom rides bikes, so we never know. I'm happy that she hit his ego. I'm happy that Ashley got him in the way that she did. Good for her. Because all he was talking about after she said what she said was he didn't like how she attacked his character, basically. I don't believe. I'm happy that she got his ego and it nipped him right in the butt. But at the same time, I'm really happy that she had the last say. She attacked his integrity, and good for her, honestly. Because I don't truly believe he was on there to find love. So with all these people, with all the drama and everything, and mind you guys, I went through this really fast. I was trying to bring this video down to like the shortest amount of time ever, but because so much has happened, so much had to be said, the reunion, I believe, is going to be chaos. And I'm sorry if this video is so back and forth and all over the place, and I hope you guys are able to keep up with me. But I just can't wait for the reunion. I can't wait to see what happens, but I need you guys to tell me. Do you guys think Love is Blind? I mean, love is blind for some people, because what the hell were you thinking picking that man? Tell me, would you guys ever be able to go on a show like this? I could never. Yeah, never. You guys tell me what you guys could do. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to join the family, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.